Hi everybody, it's Crystal. Welcome to my channel. So today I have a yarn review for you. Will it be good? Will it be bad? I already know. You don't know. So I hope you watch the video to find out. Okay. First off, I do not have a tutorial for this hat. This hat is knitted and it was gifted to me by my good friend Gary from the YouTube channel Urban Yarn. I highly recommend his channel. It's one of my favorite YouTube channels and I never miss any of his videos. I will link his channel below in the description box for you to check out. Remember, I highly recommend him. This is called his Bush Tracker beanie. I do believe he might have it's knit, so I don't know how to knit, but I think he might have it written down in one of his videos. You'd have to search through them, but I'm certain that he does. But anyways, and I do have a tutorial for that blanket as well. You'll find it in my blanket playlist. It's called The Beauty Runs Deep. All right, let's begin. So CARON came out with the new cake. I love it. I love it when CARON comes out with a new CARON cake. I love CARON cakes a lot. Some more than others, but this is their new one they put out this year. Today is 8/24/2023. So this is the CARON Macchiato cake. All right. Now, I do want to say that my reviews are opinion-based reviews. Always remember that. It's just my own personal opinion about the yarn, and you know that everybody has different opinions, and it's okay for everybody to have different opinions. It would be so boring if we all thought the same, wouldn't it? So I'll just give you, I can tell you, what is everything about the yarn, like specs and all. I can show you all the colors and, show you what it looks like knitted and crocheted. And I could tell you what it feels like to me, and I can tell you my overall assessment of it. But remember, it's just opinion based, just my personal opinions. All right, let's do this then. So here it is. Isn't that pretty? Yes, it is. Why don't we read the specs on it first thing? So this is an 80% acrylic, 20% wool yarn. It is 8 ounces, 227 grams, or 481 yards, 440 meters. So 481 yards, almost 500 yards. Now they are classifying this as a bulky number 5. I'll let you be the judge of that. I think that I did work with it. Now, it is a roving style. So if you look at it, you can see that it's a roving style yarn. My favorite is a roving style. So as with a roving, it's just kind of the nature of a roving. It can go from thick to thin from time to time. So I would consider it probably like a thicker 4-weight. In some spots, it hits the bulky 5. But yeah, I don't think them classifying it as a bulky 5 was wrong. A thinner bulky 5. And it reminds me of another yarn that's also a thinner bulky 5, and I'll tell you what that yarn is in just a minute. Overall, I think that it feels nice. It resembles another yarn very much. I think it feels good. I would wear it's scarfable. Scarfable means that I would wear it against my skin without having to have an undergarment underneath it. So if I made a top out of it, I wouldn't have to have a shirt underneath it, or I would wear it for a scarf. Certainly, it's very pretty. Now they recommend for knitting needle a 6mm and for a crochet hook a 6mm, and these are made in India. And they do recommend to hand wash and lay flat to dry. Now Bagoday didn't do that. I didn't do it. I went against the label. I shouldn't have. But for the purpose of the review, I wash and dried it. Just to see what happens. Just to see, It's a review. I gotta see. All right. Let's talk about the colors real quick. The colors, this one is called Lovely. And that indeed it is. It is a very, very pretty color. It's got the reds and the pinks or purplish and mauves looking in it. That's a pretty color. I like that one a lot. And then we got a couple favorites in here though. This one's called Serenity. Very nice. Lots of different colors of green. Very pretty. Very pretty. Whisper. It's called Whisper. It's pretty. I like it. I like it. I like the Whisper. Pretty neutral. Pretty neutral. And then we have another nice neutral color. I like this one as well. Solitude. Yeah, that's pretty too. Maybe you guys can guess the yarn that it's reminding me of. It really reminds me of a yarn a lot. This one's called Breathe. Just breathe. That one's pretty. And then this one I did use for a knitting swatch, but it's called Bewitched. I'll show you what it looks like worked up. I will have to say, although this is pretty, this was my least favorite of the colors, but I still like it. I think it's still pretty. And then we have this one, which is my favorite of the colors, but you know, everybody has their favorite colors. Everybody has their favorite. This one's called Boundless. Ooh. Oh, I bought 3 balls of this, and at almost 500 yards. What should I make? I can make it nice, pretty. I don't think I have quite enough to make a cardigan, but it doesn't mean, or it's wetter or something, doesn't mean I can't buy a couple more balls. But I'll think about it. That one is really pretty. It's got all kinds of Bagoday colors up in there. Rust red, mustard yellow, gold. Looks like maybe a little bit of, is that blue or gray? Bluish gray colored. A little bit of pink. That's a pretty color yarn right there, I think. That's just me though. That's just me. And then there's one more color, which was actually my second favorite, which I'm actually don't have the whole cake here because I'm making something with that too. It is called Soulful. Now this one is like blues and grays. Okay. Now let's look at it knitted up. Want to? Okay. So this was this color that I told you that was my Bewitched knitted up. So I did this on my knitting machine because I can't knit. But this is how it kind of plays out as far as striping effect goes when you're knitting with it, like with this kind of this plain knit stitch here. See that? It's actually really pretty. It's really pretty. Okay? And I did crochet with it. I'm actually in the middle of crocheting with it. And that's what I'm using the blue one for. And I will have a tutorial for this. Like I said, today is the 24th of August of 2023. So I'll have a tutorial probably, maybe today. More than likely. This is what this one looks like crocheted up. Oh, isn't that pretty? Isn't that? This is going to be a cowl, you know, that kind of wraps around, and I can't. It's hard to see the finished look. You know, the one that has a point in the front and then the 3 buttons down it, or 1 button. I'm not sure how I'll do that, but you know, you've seen the 3-button cowls that they're like that. Anyways, that's what that's going to be as soon as I get it long enough. I'm not quite long enough. It's probably going to take the whole cake and then it'll be finished. But that's what that looks like crocheted up. Isn't that a pretty yarn? My. That is gorgeous. No color control. I don't think there's no color control needed for this yarn. And it's not even one that you could color control as far as the striping effect. It's kind of just, you know, all over the place. Little stripes here, thicker stripes there, which there's nothing wrong with that. Generally, that's probably not a yarn I would gravitate towards, but this is very, very pretty. Now, what can I say about this? I could say it's $12.99 on the regular at Michael's. Now, since it's a CARON cake, it is exclusive to Michael's, so that's where you'll find it. I bought mine online at Michael's because my store didn't have it. Some stores do and some don't, you know. My store will probably get it eventually, but they just didn't have it now. It's still pretty new. So I couldn't wait, you know. Gosh, that's pretty. That is so pretty. Anyways, so $12.99 on a regular basis. 500 yards, almost 500 yards. Now this, do you like Lion Brand Scarfie? Lion Brand Scarfie yarn, the original Scarfie, because that is what this feels like. It's the same fiber content. It crochets the same. Now I'm a big fan of Lion Brand Scarfie, so you know I'm going to be a big fan of this. But you know what? I think these colors are prettier than Lion Brand Scarfie. Now don't get me wrong, Lion Brand has some very pretty colors of Scarfie, but these are different as far as color goes. Lion Brand Scarfies generally have like two solid colors and then like a mix of the two together. These have just all sorts of colors in them. You know what I mean? And I like that. I think that it works well. Look at all the colors up in there. And like I said, there's not really a rhyme or reason to the striping effects that I can really notice. They're just kind of like whatever with the striping. And I'm digging it, man. It's cool. Like I said, I normally wouldn't like a yarn that was so inconsistent, but it's pretty. And then when I started crocheting with it, I saw it like this, and I'm like, good golly, that's pretty. I really like it. I like it a lot. I can say that I like it a lot. So it's $12.99 on a regular, and that's just what most of all their CARON cakes run at Michael's, most of them on a regular basis. But never fear, because Michael's has sales all the time. All the time. I got mine on sale for 30% off. So, yes, I think that 30% off is a great deal. Would I pay $12.99? You know, I can't really comment on that because I know there would never be a time that I would have to, because Michael's always has sales. I don't think there would ever be a time that I would have to pay full price. And then, like, if by chance there was, I would just wait a few days and then they would have a sale again and I wouldn't have to pay full price. But with, you know, the cost of yarn nowadays, you know, this does have, you know, a little bit of wool in it, the 20% wool, and the 80 acrylic, $12.99, almost 500 yards. I don't know. It is, you know, yarn's expensive nowadays. I paid $10 for it. $8. $8 maybe. I don't really know. It's hard to say what I pay for it. I'd probably pay the $12.99 if I wanted it bad enough. Honestly, I would, because I really, really like it a lot. Now, as I did mention, it does say to hand wash and lay flat. And you know I didn't do that because it's a review. And I have to show you what it looks like. Even though it says not to do it, I did it. I'm a rebel. I can't help it. So I did put this in the washer with laundry soap and fabric softener on regular cycle, normal cycle, on cool water. And then I put it in the dryer on not hot, but just regular, whatever that is, you know, regular heat. I don't know if that's gentle or whatever it is, just regular heat. It's like a time, my dryer is like a time dry. There's either high heat or one that's automatic and it just tells you when it's done. I don't know what heat that is, but that's what I put it on. So this is what it looked. It did change the appearance of it after I washed it and dried it. So it made it super fuzzy. See that? It's super fuzzy now. It really wasn't that fuzzy before, a bit. See? But now it's super fuzz. So But I don't recommend putting it in the washer and dryer. Don't go against the label. I only did that for the review just to see what would happen. And as you can see, it fuzzed up a lot. And the more you do it, the more it's gonna fuzz. But did it make it even softer? Boy, did it make it ever soft. A lot softer. And it's still like, I mean, it didn't do anything to the integrity of the yarn as far as like it's strong and it didn't shrink or anything. It just fuzzed up. That's all. Gave it a halo. Hey, if you like the halo, it does make it extra soft. But no. I don't recommend going against a tag. That was just for review purposes, just to see, you know, what would happen. I always hand wash and lay flat anything I make anyways, because I spend so much time on things. I'm not going to ruin them in the washing machine. You know what I mean? You never know what could happen in the washer. Bad things sometimes happen in the washer. And here's the crochet item, and you can see that it's not fuzzy. You know, it's got, like I said, it's got a bit of a fuzz, but it's nothing like it had coming out of the washer and dryer. So no wash and dry, no wash and dry. There are instructions, which I knew that it was, you know, hand wash it, lay it flat, keep it looking nice for as long as you can. All right, so my final thoughts. Let's look at it. Let's see. All the colors are very pretty. I liked all the colors. That one was okay. That Bewitched, I said that it was my least favorite, but I still liked it. The blue that I'm crocheting with is absolutely beautiful, but they're all beautiful. I think even though it's got a irregular striping effect, it works, man. I'm digging it. I like it a lot. It's really beautiful. I love the roving style. I love the bulky vibe. I like the resemblance to Scarfie, because Scarfie it's a classic, man. It's always made my top 10 favorite, you know, big box store yarns that you can buy at big box stores. It's always made it in my top 10 faves. So, what I'll tell you is, you know, you've seen it knitted, you've seen it crocheted. It's so similar to Scarfie, except for the colors are way prettier. Personal preference. CARON has made a lot of CARON cakes in their day, right? Since they started making cakes, they made a lot of CARON cakes. And I like a lot of them. I do. I have a favorite, which I don't think they'll ever beat, is the CARON latte cake. That is my absolute favorite CARON cake that they make. Now, I know that the Colorama Halo, the new one, is not technically a CARON cake, but it is a CARON yarn that is in cake form. So I'll just say it's a CARON cake, even though it's not really in their CARON cake collection. It's not exclusively sold at Michael's. And that would be number 2 for me as favorite. Now, all the other CARON cakes they got on the market, this tops out at 3. I like it. I'm going to give it a solid, if I rated it, you know, 1 through 10 on the color factor, you know, taking everything into consideration, how beautiful it looks crocheted, how beautiful it looks knitted, the way it feels, it being roving style, it's my favorite. The bulky 5-ness of it. This is thinner bulky 5 though, like I said. The hand wash and lay flat does not bother me, because like I said, I do that anyways. The price factor, that's just in line with all their CARON cakes. I mean, that's just what they price them. 9.25. That's a high mark for a CARON cake. I think I gave a latte a 9.5. So, yes, I really like it a lot. And if you remember though, these are only my review or my personal opinion, so I don't want to steer anybody wrong. But if you tried Scarfie yarn and you liked it, regular Scarfie, you're gonna love this one, because it's very similar, but in my opinion, I think it's a little bit better. So, if you know, I always say just get one ball and give it a try, because it could be the best yarn you've ever had. I like it a lot, I sure do. But it could be the worst. So, you know, one ball, give it a go, see what you think. But yeah, very high marks from Bagoday. I'm actually going to buy some more. I got some projects that I think might want to make with it. So yeah, I'll probably buy some more, especially of that one color. That's my favorite. So I can make something bigger out of it. Anyways, that's it. I'm going to go. Look for that tutorial of that cowl probably today, or yeah, really, really soon. I'll have it done. And that's it. 2 thumbs up for Caron. Man, Caron's coming out with some, they've been coming out with some, their Colorama cake was, man, spot on. I got a high review too, high markings. This Caron cake is, like I said, if we're just counting Caron cakes and not the Colorama, that is my second favorite Caron cake. And there are a lot of Caron cakes on the market. So, yeah. I like it a lot. So I'll see you guys in my next video, okay? Sorry this review's so long. I'm talking a lot. I probably drank too much caffeine. It happens. I'll see you guys on my next video. Give this a try. Like I said, I don't really think you'll be disappointed in it, especially if you like everything that I said about it. I mean, it does knit and crochet up very, very pretty. Bye, guys.